What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast, and we're back at it with our Sunday simulation series where we're taking hold of the Oakland Athletics and trying to turn them into a World Series winner. So as you can see here, we're about to begin spring training for the 2023 season. We've done a lot over the off season and the 2022 season to really try to build up this team. So we're going to take a look at the lineup really quickly here. So a lot of changes here. There's really only one name that is a carryover in the starting lineup, and that is Sean Murphy. A couple of A's on the bench here, but we've gone about rebuilding this team in a very big way. So what we're going to do now is some changes to the bullpen as well, but still a lot of work to be done for this team. We need a lot of help in our pitching staff, something that we're going to hopefully upgrade throughout the course of the season. So what we're going to do now, though, is we're going to send down these guys to AAA that aren't going to be a part of the Major League roster, just to make sure that we have what we need at the Major League level and set ourselves up for success in the upcoming season. So we're gonna make sure, send these guys down. Right. And let's see. All right, so we're gonna try to set this roster up pretty well. All right, still got a few spots left. Let's see. Okay. All right, so problem is that we have too many guys on the offensive side of things. Alright, so I guess we can send Yuli down. Still got one more. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's fast forward. Now, there are some options here to try to extend some guys. When we look at our budget, honestly, it's not that much. So it's definitely going to be something that we'll have to revisit at the end of the season, but we'll see what kind of options we have at that point. Maybe might try and revisit some of these things at the mid-season mark. We're going to simulate through spring training here. All right, so now we're going to head to the regular season. All right, so now we're in the 2023 season. So we have about $22 million in projected surplus for the season. And we're going to go ahead. Obviously, we need more pitching help. If we can get a little bit more up the middle. And like I said, we definitely want some starting pitching help. If we look at the roster strategy, we're currently listed as normal. So we definitely want to try to take a look at some of these rebuilding teams and see if there's some potential help we can get from their squads. I don't know how willing some of these squads are going to be to give us some starting pitching help, but we'll have to take a look and see. So I want to take a look really quick at the Reds, because I think that there's going to be, I don't know if we're going to be able to make a deal happen with their top starters. It is quite possible, but I feel like Hunter Green would definitely be the guy to get, but I don't know how much it's going to cost us quite a bit. It's going to cost us a lot to get Hunter Green. So Stroman, I wonder if we can make a deal for something a little less. And be able to really get ourselves in a prime position here. Not trying to trade too much though. So, I wonder. Just gonna try to test it and see if there's a better starter that we can get for the same deal. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a better option right now. Michael Kopech. Huh. Interesting. It's like close, but not quite. So we definitely want to try to see if we can kind of build up this starting rotation, because there are some definite weaknesses in that area for us. So we definitely want to get upgraded in that spot, because I think we have a really good lineup, but we need some help in the pitching department. So we have to try to figure out the best avenue for success here. Problem is that it costs a lot, and I don't know that we necessarily have a lot to give. So that's where the problem comes in. So I feel like Anderson is acquirable. Let's see. It's like close, but not quite enough. Yeah, it's doesn't really seem feasible at this point for some of these guys. Yeah. So Stroman is the guy. But let me see. I'm gonna move somebody from the 40 man because that's what makes the most sense. Nick Allen, not on the 40. Okay. Jonah Bride. All right. So this clears up a spot for us. All right. So might as well. All right, I'm gonna go with the pitcher just because. Yeah. Now, oh, that's a lot of money though for Stroman. Not a fan of that dollar amount. Wow. Pablo Lopez. No. All right. We got to try to figure out an avenue to success here in acquiring a starting pitcher. But I'm not trying to give up a ton of prospects or pay a ton of money. So we're probably going to have to wait till midseason to try to bolster what we have in-house because, yeah, it's not going to work. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to fast forward to the draft. And see kind of where things are shaking out for us. So far, not so great. All right. All right. So we are presently under 500 and decisively underwhelming right now. So we're 9 games out of the division, 5 games under 500. We definitely need help in the pitching department. So we're going to go ahead and simulate the draft. Take a look at these picks. All right, so a couple of decent prospects here. All right. So let's take a look at our lineup real quick. Arroyo is struggling tremendously. Nemo's doing well. Bichette's mediocre. Not the greatest things happening right now with our roster, but there's still time. Yeah, definitely still time, but actually our starting rotation is not too bad. Bullpen is mostly doing well. So we need some offense. Yeah, based on this, we need some offense. So we're going to take a look at the trade block and see if there's anybody of value there. So right off the top, Yandy Diaz is always a solid guy to have, especially with his versatility. Not hitting for much power this year, though. Tom Murphy. So All right. I want to see where we are by the time we get to the All-Star break. Because the thing is that this team, offensively speaking, has some guys that are capable of really doing some stuff. So it's really a matter of whether or not they can like get it together. Yeah, it's only gotten worse. All right, so we definitely need to make some moves here. Things have only gotten worse for us since the draft. We're now 17 and a half games out of first in the AL West, 8 games out of the wild card. All right. So we need to move some things around with this roster. Definitely need to move some things around. So put Carpenter in every day. Smith needs to be in because he's a lefty killer. So let's see how this kind of plays out for us. See if that little bit of a shakeup can kind of change the course of things. Hopefully it can give us a bit of a boost. And all right, so as if Devers back there, Langoliers. All right, so you're gonna have to go to right. And Drury goes to, actually no. Drury will go to right. Hap will stay in left. And Langoliers will go to DH. All right, and let's take a look at the pitching side of things. Yeah, it's starting to balloon up a little bit here. So let's finish out our time before the All-Star festivities. Do we have anybody in the Home Run Derby? We do not. Let's see who on our team is a part of the All-Star game. Felix Bautista. And that's it. All right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to fast forward through the last week before the deadline. Let's take a look. And Austin Barnes, Tom Murphy's come back to life. Not a lot here. Let's see what it would take to get a guy like Reynolds. I mean, the reality is that I don't necessarily need another outfielder. I could use an infielder. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what teams are in. So they have us listed as a playoff push. That's funny. So the Rangers are rebuilding. The Marlins, Nationals, Cubs, Reds, Pirates, Rockies. Rockies might be a good team to go after. Yeah. And Tigers are rebuilding. All right, let's go take a look and see if there's any deals we can make with the Rockies right now. Because I'm feeling like there's probably an opportunity there if we can find the right combination. So So 3 B-level prospects will get me a struggling Brendan Rodgers. But I think that this is a guy who could help us. So I think that this is the move we're going to make here. Because I feel like Rodgers can really help us. We have a vacancy at second base, in my opinion, that needs to be corrected. So we're going to go ahead and make that move. We're going to send Tony Kemp down. And let's plug Brendan Rodgers in at second base. But we're going to move. Rodgers. Okay. So let's see how this series goes. All right. So man, this is tough because honestly, we need help in the pitching side of things. And clearly our offense needs some work as well. Now, the offense in and of itself is something that I think can kind of regulate itself over the course of the season. Let's see starters on the block. Alex Wood, Jose Berrios. The problem is I think they're going to want too much for Jose. I do like Berrios a lot, actually. And to me, he's one of these guys that absolutely, there's just something that's just not clicking. And as soon as it does, this is going to be a guy that absolutely just goes off. But let's see what it's going to cost. So, all right, let's make this deal. Okay, so, all right, so we got another starter in the mix. Problem is I don't know how much of an impact this is going to make right now. Anaya is having a good season. So I guess we'll see. It doesn't really make a ton of sense for me to keep going with spending a bunch of money and giving up a ton of prospects right now. Because, I mean, if we look at where we are in the lineup, 19 games out of first in the West, 11 and a half out of the second wild card spot. So even if we can kind of get the ship righted here, I think that there's still going to be a lot to be desired when it comes to figuring out what we have in this organization. All right, so we're going to go ahead and finish out the rest of the year. And see kind of where we end up, how close to the postseason we actually end up getting. So we're getting close to a wild card spot. And you know that once the postseason starts, if you can make it in, anything can happen. So we're gonna try and take a look and see if there's something more that we can do. Try and figure out what can be done about this squad. So let's take a look and finish out the year. See just how close to the postseason we can get. All right. So we're on the last day. 22 games out of the division. Obviously, we are eliminated from postseason contention, but we're just 2 games out of a wild card spot. So we finished over 500, but did not work out too well. Brendan Rodgers did pick up a Gold Glove. That's about as close as we got to any awards. Devi got a Silver Slugger. Bichette was close to the Silver Slugger for shortstop. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and advance. And we're going to go ahead and sim through the off-season, through the postseason, I should say. Dodgers defeat the Astros in 2023 World Series. All right, so we're going to advance on to the off-season of 2023 into 2024. So Justin Verlander's retiring, Joey Votto. So this was a tough year. We got close, but as you know, that is not good enough. So we're going to definitely have to continue and try again, see what we can land coming the next season as we continue to try to push towards making the Oakland A's a World Series winner. So as we kind of run through all these players, and we have some big decisions to make here with some free agents, and that's where we're going to end until next week's episode. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure if you haven't already, you follow us on all our social media outlets. Banter_baseball on Twitter, Baseball Banter Broadcast on Instagram and TikTok. If you want to check out our website, laracuenteledger.com, where we write articles daily on the world of Major League Baseball, as well as many other things. And if you want to show even more support for us here, head over to our merchandise shop, baseballbanterbroadcast.com, where we have a ton of merch and a ton of promo codes you can use to save on that merchandise. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Most of our audience here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast is not yet subscribed. So if you can, and you love what you're seeing here from us at the Baseball Banter Broadcast, hit that subscribe button and the bell for post notifications. That allows us to continue growing this baseball family, this baseball community that we're building here. So I want to thank you guys, and make sure you keep it locked in all season long as we continue to broadcast and banter about the world of baseball. Peace.